They told me you can't do that here, Beanie. It might sound good in one of your books, but this is a construction site. You can't build a learning environment here. But I didn't start with a touchy-feely feel-good program or some poster. It started with a shelf. One shelf, a few books, a marble, a cricket ball, and a football. That's how you build a learning environment. Not with noise, but with signals. Signals that say, we improve here and we think here. We actually give a about getting better together. Human beings don't just need motivation. They need a purpose, autonomy, and a shot at mastery. When you build that into your environment, your team will grow and they will improve. And what happens next is they start to own the change with you. You want to build your culture? Start with a shelf.
Have you ever explained something 5 times? You walk out in the paddock and you look at what's going on and you think to yourself, there's no one actually fucking listening. This video is for you. Today's live is for you. You're going to see exactly what's going on. Little exercise where build a paper cup. So go and find yourself, if you haven't got a piece near you, a piece of A4 paper, because you're going to need that in a minute. I just saw this video this morning and it is perfectly timed for what we're talking about, because this is exactly what we need to do and what no one in the construction industry actually does or pays any attention to. If you watch yesterday's video over the weekend, we we're talking about how when we want to try to create change, 70% of change management fails because it's too complex. Also fails because we never ever stack up our wins like this. Of course you're not going to play through. I didn't test this. So one thing I didn't test, let's just make sure, wireless ME, play through. So why is that not playing?
I just think about stacking days. Stacking days. My son is small, right? He's small, just like I was. And I've talked to him about the training and how hard it is and this, that, and the third. But he's finally starting to see a little bit of change, right, in his game or whatever, in his ability. And all I keep telling him is just keep stacking days. Mm-hmm. Just keep stacking days. As long as you keep stacking days, I promise you, you will see the change. But my coach used to always say, everything that you want is on the other side of hard, right? He had another, I think I said in the book, he said, reps remove doubt, right?
Reps remove doubt. Everything you want is on the other side of art. Day 85 of 90 days in a row doing the ORCA process, out of all of that once, I've not live streamed, which was Christmas Day, wasn't easy. The results are coming at the moment. It's what's known as the compound effect. Stacking days. We don't pay anywhere near enough attention to it in construction. The old guys used to speak to the 1%ers. Get the 1%ers right. When I used to hear that, I used to think, what a load of bullshit. That little thing can't make any difference. One little thing in isolation doesn't make any difference. Those little things don't stack up. They compound when we get them right. They don't just stack up. They do stack up. All right, so if you explain the same decision 5 times this month and it still landed differently in a paddock, here's the reason why. I'm going to show you. This is 2 guys. One, Jason Schrader. I do a lot of podcasts with Jason Schrader. We're doing a series at the moment, 12 causes of project failure. We've done the first 4 so far. Other guy's called Adam Hertz, very well known in the US. Let's see if you can build a paper cup. Simple, should be easy, right? All right, grab a bit of paper and let's go.
So I'll be quick. So step 1, start, and if anybody wants to listen to the podcast, they can just do it. Start with your paper white side up, fold the top right corner down to the left until the top side of the paper aligns with the left side. You should be left with 2.5 inches at the bottom. Take the 2.5 inches of paper long ways and fold it down so you have a square piece of paper to start and leave it that way. You could also cut it if you had scissors. Now use the paper as a square, fold it in half diagonally, and leave it that way.
How you going? You keeping up? These are pretty simple instructions. This should be easy.
Step 2, fold the top corner down to the baseline, crease well and unfold. Fold the bottom left-hand corner up to the crease line you just made on the upper right side. Once folded, please leave it there. Step 3, now fold the bottom right-hand corner up to the opposite side in a similar manner and leave it there. Step 4, fold the front flap on the top downwards and fold. Step 5, now fold the back flap backwards in the same manner. Step 6, open out, your drinking cup is finished. And so I don't even.
What's your cup look like? Post a picture down below in the comments. Just look what your cup looks like.
Do it that fast actually most of the time. I'm like, okay, let me repeat it again. Do you have any questions? Let me repeat it again. And I'm like, raise your hand, who has a cup? And I've seen geese, buffaloes,
everything but a cup.
I've seen everything before, and they don't get it. And this is the point. You'll love this, Adam. I'm like, you guys didn't follow my plan.
How many times have you said that? We spoke about this in a meeting the other day. We're out in the paddock. You guys aren't following the plan.
I'm talking to construction people. I'm like, you didn't follow my plan. I've got a plan. It's right here. And I repeated it 2 or 3 times. You didn't follow my plan. And they're like, it's your fault, Jason. You didn't explain it. And then I'm like, all right, get another piece of paper out. And I show pictures. I show, do
you have the pictures? Could you pop them up for us?
What's the difference here between the spoken word and the pictures? This is why the interface that we're speaking to today and school becomes so powerful. We could put the pictures, we could put the videos in there. We can get everyone on the project on the same page, doing the right thing the first time, which is where all or majority of our rework comes from, because we don't do this.
If I shared my screen, I don't know, is it possible to share the screen?
If you hit present and share screen.
Okay.
Pop them up.
Let me do that.
What those look like.
Yeah, I'll do that right now. And to build on it then, what I'd like to do is say, if anybody was listening to this podcast and like you wanted to actually go through and see if you could do it, try to put the cup together based on just on my instructions and see how far you go.
I always have this. When you go to one of my sites, I'll show you in a minute, I always have this on the wall. It's got a QR code, and I challenge people to go and make the cup.
And if you can't, and you didn't get the cup, I want you to hear ringing in your head, hey, it's your fault. You just didn't follow my plan. Yeah. So I'll hit present.
I'm sure we've all said that a time or two. The plan was written so clearly. How come you didn't just follow the instructions?
Exactly. So I'm gonna hit share here. Can you see my screen, by the way?
I can now. Yes, sir.
Okay. So then I say, all right, take your paper out. Now fold the top corner down. Then you can cut the excess off. You have a triangle. Fold the right corner up to the opposite side. Fold the left corner up to the right side. And then fold the front out and fold the front back. And now you've got a cup. And so the key thing that I want to mention here is that this is like everybody that's on gets it when I show them the pictures, like everybody. And then I'm like, what happened? And they're like, we could see it, of course. And I'm like, that's exactly it. So in my mind, when I used to get told, I remember working with an assistant superintendent once.
No schedule. It's worth the paper it's written on, unless it gets to the field and visual representation of collaborative planning amongst the entire team. Words that quote Jason quotes in one of his books. We don't have that. There must be an interface where for everyone to get on the same page, understand their instructions the same way. There must be an interface that allows that to happen. So what we got is this loop here. Because remember what Dr. Eli Goldratt said the other day. If we're going to drive change, and 70% of change management fails, it must be simple. They need to be able to see one at pre-start, learn to see waste, where the non-value added activity is, and where the flow is, where the value added activity is. So we can do more of the value activity and less of that. That's how we sped up. Stop and fix it via the ORCA process. Now, if we did an ORCA and we just posted our instructions, like we just saw in that video just then when Jason read the instructions out, no one could create a paper cup. Guess what happens? Gets lost in translation. That's why most lessons learned are complete and utter waste of time. You have people trying to take the lessons learned and build a paper cup with them, and they've got no fucking idea of what the paper cup even looks like at the end of it, or how they should be going about it. What we do, when we stop and fix with that ORCA, we create lessons learned with photo and video. Just like the images, if you've only just jumped on and you didn't see that video, you need to go back and watch the start of it, where Jason talks to you about where Jason Schroeder and Adam Hoots are. They take you through a little process called building a paper cup. It shows the difference between verbal instructions and visual instructions. Why do you think I use boards all the time? To get the picture in everyone's head. When we're on a project, and this is pretty simple. We built this project, and it was like what's called a water cooling tower. Okay, so you had there was like a level there, second level top, then you had these fans sat on top, like a big radiator, basically. And I was trying to show people flow. We need to get this happening. What's going on here? We need to get the trades working in flow. So we had first we had the structure guys had to go in, then the mechanical guys would have to come along behind them, then the piping guys behind them, then the electrical behind them. But we needed this thing built because we had 3 different levels. It needed to cascade down like this. That's how the job needed to fucking look. Not one big piece. So we needed crews working here, for the crews here, for the crews here, for the crews here. Needed to all move in that place. When we walked out and looked at the end of the job, it needed to look like that. All the way along. I drew that. Over and over and over and over until it sunk in. It must be simple. Actually, we'll go back to Dr. Eli Goldratt a bit because he explains it better. Why you must repeat this and why you must keep it simple. Why you need to, going back to that video by Chris Paul, stack your days, stack your wins.
Otherwise, once again, you'll get huge distortions. Only when you've got the answers to what is the problem and what is the solution, now the time has come to talk about how to cause the solution to be implemented.
How did I cause that solution to be implemented? This was the solution. Before that, they went up, they did it all sorts of different ways. It was just a clusterfuck. This is how you do it.
And throughout everything, you have to hammer into people something amazing. It must be simple.
Tattoo that on your forehead, your forearm, write it on your board, whatever you have to do. It must be simple.
It must be simple. Why do I stress it so much? Somehow, we have come to believe that the more complicated the problem, the more complicated should be the solution. This is totally idiotic.
Write that down. We've come to believe the more complicated the problem, the more complicated must be the solution. That is completely idiotic. The more complicated the problem, the simpler must be the solution, or it will never, ever work.
The more complicated the problem, the simpler must be the solution, otherwise it will never, ever work. This concept of how to insist on extremely simple solutions is something that people are not used to it. Once again, we have to prove it over and over and over and over and over again.
I drew that. more times than I care to remember. The ORCA process is very simple. Day 85 and 90, doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again till people start to get the picture. This is what works.
On each function of the organization. Otherwise, when we come to put the strategy and the tactic, we will get something so damn complicated that there is no chance of implementing it. Is it understood, yes or no?
Right, that is why we run ORCA on a daily basis. Simples. In the morning, we teach people to see waste and flow. Pre-start. Brief. In the morning. See one. They see it. They go out in the paddock. When they see waste, they stop. Fix it with the ORCA process. Objective. Results. Causes. Actions. Take a lessons learned. Photo or video. We put it into school. That's the platform that I use. That is the interface. School is the interface to measure the engagement. It's got leaderboards in there. I'll show you just real quick right now while we're here, if I've got it up. So here's old mate Benny. He's in our school for snow hydro. There's different levels that he can get to by engaging, getting involved, uploading his orcas, his photos and his videos. At the moment, he's a level 5 Premier League player. We can go down and have a look and say, how engaged is he in this process of doing this every day? We can see on there, this little dashboard automates all this. We tap on a day. On Sunday, the 15th of February, Benny had 17 activities inside school. So he's getting 2 things right, but when he's, he's going up the ladder in the Premier League, if he's posting stuff in there and people like it, so they're getting value out of it. Then we can gauge, how much interactions he getting with other people. Well, good, because he's a level 5, he's a Premier League player. So that's pretty good. Then we can see his activity. How many things is he doing in there? How many people is he helping? How is he helping create this Kaizen culture feedback loop on our project? It's a fair bit. Look at his scoreboard. Right, let's go and have a look and see what he's doing. What can we pull out of what Benny's doing that we can share inside school and get out to the whole project? Make it easier for them to build their paper cup so they know what good looks like. Just making sense. If you're skeptical about it all, that's good. Guess what? I want to talk to you. Then what Dr. Eli Goldratt said, it's the skeptics that show you where you like to fail. Why won't this work? I want skeptics. I want skeptics inside construction school. If that's you, you're thinking, all sounds well and good, but it's flavour of the month. Never lasts. Won't work here, Benny. You won't be able to do that on this project. You don't understand what it's like here. Come and tell me why it won't work. That's what I want. I want those and the catalysts. If you're sitting there thinking, this is good, I want to get involved in this, I want to help make this happen. I want both of you inside school. I've got a target there. I need to get 25 skeptics and 30 catalysts. I've got 29 days left to do it. All right. That's it. School's the interface to measure engagement via our leaderboards. It automates us measuring that engagement. It turns, now we're turning a non-value added activity. Got up here, people sitting on the phones all day, doing these ones with their thumb. This can all get done via the app on the phone inside school. Turned into value added activity. Waste into gold. That's how you stack your days up, day by day. All right. ORCA. Let's give it the business. It is Monday the 16th of February 2026. It's a new shift and it's day 85 of 90. No one owns that interface. How the paper cups are getting built, the information that people are getting to build the paper cups, the constraint, which is our focus, get people heading in the right direction, already owns your outcome. It's driving your project. You're not. The project's running you, not you running the project. This is a home ORCA. Every time I don't spell it out, it goes to ORCA. Just because I spell it that it gets it right. Daily Live. Daily Live is in progress. No, there was no point where I almost didn't go live today. That was just a little check for me to get me over the last hump, over the last 5 days. My motivation's the highest now. There's 2 times I actually did this the wrong way around. I hadn't read this book intentional when I set the goals for this. I should have split it up, not just gone for straight out for 90 days. I should have split it up into some shorter packs, shorter times. Motivation's highest when you start, dips in the middle, and it's high again when you get near the end. I'm near the end, 85 for 90. I can see the finish line, it's just over there. The finish line's just there actually, so do. Verified full kit was done. Targeted outreach is done, and run the day live is done. Someone must who must own this to give you the fastest, highest probability of this working. If you just focus on the how you do it, you got the lowest probability, and it's going to take you the longest to get there. Get someone. I gave you the key attributes that the person needs. Funnily enough, I have. What they need to be able to do to get you there, the fastest and the highest probability of making this work. Move you out of this 70% change management that fails into the group that actually does. We don't want to just be in the 30% that actually succeeds. We want to be the fastest at the highest probability. Today's one objective was the live. I had to get that done again. We've set the week up. Probably going to complain that I've got 2 objectives there. That's all right, I'll get over it. The one objective that the live was meant to do today was to teach the value of stacking outcomes. No one owns the interface. The constraint already owns the outcome. No one owns the interface. The constraint already owns the outcome. Yes, the objective was achieved. Causes, behaviours. I actually think when I wake up in the morning, I'll have a time set that I'm going to do it, and I'm trying to pull the timeline forward. I'm keen and eager to get on and do the live because I've got stuff that I want to get out. I find content, like I found a piece this morning from Rich Roll that just tied in perfectly with what I'm already doing. Priming the algorithm before I go live to give us the best chance of reaching the person that we want to speak to. I don't care about reaching numbers. I just want to reach the right people. Decisions are all based around how do we drive up the the watch time, which went through the roof yesterday, by the way. We've got one that it started at 15 minutes, it's down to 5, which is huge, considering that most people can't get past 10 to 12 seconds. So that's a constraint removed. We're starting to break into the point where people are, it's not just scroll past it. Someone's going deep into these videos and spending quite an amount of time in there. And the wingmen used all my usual wingmen. Mox, the Banger Bots, and the 2026 Big Ass Planning. We use a number of them. What we'll do, we'll retire this one at 90 and we'll reset, create a new one, get in to drop a prompt out, pick the next one up, and we'll take this ORCA to the next level. Actually, that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to chase Christian Bukasis, see if I can get him on a live to give a grilling over how I'm actually doing my ORCA. Behaviours, early scheduling, algorithm priming, deliberate content alignment, optimise for watch time, not reach, constraints removed, scroll past attention barrier, vandymetric focus. Wingmen use multiple calendar branch. Tomorrow is a Tuesday, so it's a weekday. Three must-do tasks, verify full kit, complete once no hydro, outreach dam, done not done, run the day live, daily execution. Daily execution index is 3 from 3, and I'm not going to run the daily visual reflection loop today. Day live, check, execution, streak intact. Tomorrow, must do task, verify full kit, complete one snow hydro target outreach, run the day live. Stack the days, stack up the wins. Tomorrow, I'm going to show you how to use an ambitious target session. Again, set an impossible goal, which we have done here. I'm actually going to run this. We'll do this process with a wingman tomorrow. All right, take that, use it, make it a great week. If you're a skeptic or catalyst, head across to construction school. If you think this needs to be on your project, pass it on to your PM, your PD, your GM, EGM. Be much appreciated. And we'll speak soon.